In December 2019, China notified the World Health Organization of several cases of human respiratory illness, a disease later named COVID-19.
So in this video, we're going to talk about how the coronavirus pandemic has affected DK Custom Products, and the question we have been asking ourselves for months: when is it going to end?
This video I feel like is particularly inclusive to the viewers because every single person watching this video has been affected in some kind of way by the coronavirus.
And most of them realize it. Some of them may not even realize it. But
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can get away with live life without having been affected by it. Nobody has gotten sick at DK. A lot of people who work at DK have kids, and of course that's affected them in a big way because of schooling or lack of schooling. But it's really affected our supply chain. And what's surprising is now, when everything is more opened up than it was in March and April, we're having more troubles now in our supply chain getting simple parts than we were back in March and April. I think that a lot of people had a lot of suppliers had inventory in stock, and we and others just kept depleting that stock. And when they finally got back to work, they're back at work building up the stock, but we depleted them down so low. So it's mostly just silly stuff, but it makes it much harder to make the parts. In some cases, we don't even have the parts.
Exactly. Take the air cleaners, for example. One air cleaner probably has, 30 plus different components when you add up all the hardware, the covers, what needs to be powder coated, what needs to be chromed. And if you run out of the banjo fittings for the external breather system, that throws the whole train off the track.
Yeah, and we almost ran out of those. We did find another supplier for them. And just nuts, bolts, and washers. We have hundreds of thousands of nuts, bolts, and washers sitting on the shelf to put together the different kits. And we only buy U.S. made nuts, bolts, and washers. We pay a little bit more for them, but we want to buy USA made ones.
Right.
And our primary supplier is out of like half of the bolts, so we're having to go to a secondary and sometimes third supplier, and we're paying more and it's taking longer. Dwayne, every day you work with the customers via email, text, phones. What's one of the big things that affects the customer, not to do with the products, but because of the coronavirus pandemic?
Right. Well, beforehand, the U.S. Postal Service, they get a bad rap, but beforehand, it'd be about, one every 300 packages would have a delay or an issue we'd have to file a claim with. That number is almost triple, so it's 3 or 4 or 5 that out of every 300, but if you're that 3, 4, or 5th guy that has a delayed package, it's a big issue.
Oh yeah, if I don't get my package when they said they're going to get it to me, and I'm on the phone or emailing them, and they say this doesn't happen very often, that's good for them. It doesn't happen very often, but it happened to me, so I'm 100% it happened.
Yeah, and we've built a reputation on shipping fast. If you place an order early enough in the day, depending on the item, most likely it will go out that day. And our shipping facility is adjacent to the USPS hub. So most times you order something, that day it's on an airplane coming towards your direction. And that's just not the case recently.
Yeah, and it's not just UPS, USPS, it's FedEx.
And the biggest question of all, when is it going to end?
Yeah, and we've gone over that and tried to figure that out. And here's the thing, and we started out the video saying, it's worse now in August 2020 than when everything's much more opened up than it was back in March and April, when only essential businesses we were essential business, only essential businesses were open, but it wasn't near as bad then as it is now. This is August, and we just have no idea. We're working twice as hard to do the same amount that we were doing before.
Exactly.
And we're just going to keep doing that, taking care of the customer.
Right. And as we said before, we know we're not the only ones affected. So if you were affected in any kind of way, please share it with us if you'd like to in the comments, and hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when our next video comes out. And subscribe to our channel, it'd really help us out.
You all ride safe out there.